Okay. Hey, well, thank you guys all for coming to our class today. I'm doing another Zoom class. I know we might be a little sick of certain Zooms, but I think this one, hopefully you get some information out of. So today we want to talk about some of the great tools we've developed over at CaliforniaTitle.com that will help you guys with your business and help you guys get more business is the goal. We have a vested interest in your success at California Title Company because the more business you get, obviously the more opportunity we have to earn your business, and that's how we make money. So we want to do that, and I got a kid in college that I need to make as much money as possible to pay for that. So today we're going to talk, I'm going to start sharing my screen now, and we're going to go over a couple things today. Oh, not that one. Sorry. I don't want that one. Let's find my what I want to. Okay, so today we're going to talk about one of our main tools is called Farm Focus, and there's an ability to be able to find likely to sell neighbors in a given area, as well as find out-of-state owners in a given area. And then from there, we're going to shift into one of our new tools that we have. It's called Market Snapshot. We're going to discuss what it is and what the best practices of that tool is. So first and foremost, we want to go in and we want to go to CaliforniaTitle.com. So those of you who don't have an account, I have created a YouTube channel. And in my YouTube channel, if you just search California Title Training, you could click on California Title Training. And we have a lot of these videos on here, but you can click on videos and you could go down. I think the first one I made is signing up for CalTitle.com. So go ahead and do that if you don't have an account. The reason why it's best if you do it is because you could pick your username and password, and that way you'll have access to our account and everything we're talking about today. So that said, let's go to CaliforniaTitle.com. On the right-hand side, we want to click on Log In. And I'm going to log into my account and hit Log In. Now, we've all heard about different things, you know, farming. Farming is a thing we always hear about. What is a farm? Farming, you know, pick a farm. So there's different types of farms. And one of the farms we're going to talk about today primarily is a geographical area. A lot of you guys have heard about, you know, your sphere of influence farm. I personally think that's the most important farm you guys should establish is your sphere of influence, because those are the people you're going to get your business from most likely, especially when you're first starting. But you also want to pick a geographical farm. And with that in mind, there's a budget you guys got to think about. And when you're picking your farm, think about your budget. So you don't want to do 4,000 addresses because, you know, each first class stamp now I think is 55 cents. So if you did roughly, you know, 4,000 farms, you're talking about, you know, a little more than $2,000 just to mail that. So you don't want to go that big. My suggestion is when you're first starting is go anywhere from 200 to 500 addresses, because that's a manageable farm and it's manageable price-wise as well. So we're going to go in and we're going to show you guys how to do that. And then we're going to pick a subcategory farm. So the parent farm is going to be the large one. And then the subcategory farms are going to be what I'm talking about is, you know, out-of-state buyers or out-of-state sellers and most likely to sell. So on our dashboard here, I want to click farms. So I'm going to click farms, and what I want to do is I want to go polygon area. So I'm going to click here, create area. Now, what you want to do is you want to, yes. Someone say that?
Hey, are you supposed to be showing us your website as you?
No, you're not seeing the screen?
This? No.
Yeah, your screen's not up, Brett.
Oh, sorry.
I could send Jake over to help you with the technical difficulties you're having if you want.
Let's try this again. Why does it say paused? Can you see it?
We could see the word.
No, we still see.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. There we go. See it now?
No.
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 Nope.
It says you were sharing your screen. Let me stop share real quick. And I'm going to start sharing again. That was weird. Now?
Now we see it. I mean, we see the map.
Okay. All right. Well,
Nice.
I just restart recording. So basically, let me go back real quick then. I'm going to go to my home screen. So this is the landing page, right? So I want to go in.
Right.
and I want to click farms. I'm going to click farms. And I want to click polygon area. Click on there. And what I want to do for this case is, and all of you guys would as well, is wherever your farm is, pick an area and just sort of type in the address. So I'm just going to pick a generic address. I'm going to hit enter. So it's going to pull me into this. It directs me into this area. So I want to zoom in to this given area. This is where I used to own a house. I don't anymore, but I know the area well. So I just want to pick this one out here. So you can do a couple different things here. So if we, let's say this is your master farm area. So I'm going to go and I'm going to draw an area. I'm going to click draw polygon. And once I draw polygon, you see how I have a star there now? So I can start clicking. So I do one click and it starts my starting point. And I could drag over and go to another point and another point. And as I go, let's say I want to do this curve around Wilbur. I do multiple clicks. And I could go, let me just clear this one out. Let me try this one more time. Boom, boom, boom. So we're going to pick this master farm. This is me. This is my user error. Sorry. Let's try this one more time. I'm not going to get cute with it. I'm just going to go big. Okay, so I picked a master farm. Let's say this is the area I want to work a lot, right? So I'm going to go in and I pick this area. So this will be my parent farm. So I want to go get count and create farm. So it's retrieving all my data right now. So I see in this farm, I have 512 addresses, which is sort of the number I said, 200 to 500 addresses. So it's pretty good, 512. And then I have a turnover rate of 4.49%. You know, when I first started this, and I know Bill Taylor's on this, we used to talk about all the time, go 7 to 10% turnover rate. We don't see that anymore. Usually you see anywhere from 4% up is a good turnover rate for an area. So I'm going to pick this. I'm just going to go test October. Okay, now I'm going to go and I'm going to create this farm. Okay, so we have this farm being built. We're pulling all the data for this. Now, if you see, I have my parent farm right here, test October. It's one I just made. So I want to go here and I want to click this one right here. I'm going to click it. And now I can do a couple things here. I could go farm focus. And what this does is it helps me drill down specifically to a target market. So I'm going to create a new farm focused. Now, as you see, here's the farm I made. Here's all the homes, all the people in it. On the right-hand side, you could see 512 addresses, average years owned is 12, average transaction amount when they purchased it was $632,000. Now, let's say I want to go in and I want to start drilling down this farm. So one of the first farms I like to do is I want to hit this drop down and I want to go likely to sell. I'm going to click on likely to sell and it defaults to 10. So as you see, we dropped off a lot of these people, but I want to go likely to sell. And I think 50 is a pretty good number. So I do 50. Now within this master parent farm of 512, I found 50 people, average years owned is 12, and this is the sales price. Now, how we figure out likely to sell is we know in any geographical area that I just mapped out, there's a built-in algorithm and there's sort of AI technology in our system. So it's always growing. But what we do, for example, just to make it simple, is we realize that in this pocket, people own for about 12 years before they sell. So 12 years before they sell. A pocket down the street might be 15 years before they sell. So it always is, you know, a changing course, depends on what pocket we pick. Now, I know this area. The reason why I'm picking this area is to talk to you guys about it is it's a family area. It's part of Porter Ranch. And what it is it's, you know, they're homes that people buy when they, you know, have a kid that's probably 3 or 4 years old. They move in there, they raise their kids. And then what happens after 12 years of living in a house usually, guys? Kids go off to college. typically, right? They move, people want to downsize, people want to right size, whatever it is. So our system helps you figure out who those people are. So within this, we're able to tell you, okay, this makes a lot of sense, right? So this area, I know it's a family area. A lot of people live there for 12 years and they sell because their kids have graduated college, are all going off to college, and they're done with that single family house that they've raised their kids in. So we're able to find these people. And what's great about this is one of the best practices, I think, is we're talking about gaining more business. So those of you who have never done a deal, this is a good area to pick a farm, right? So you have your parent farm, but if you want to maybe save some money, these are the people you could actually go after directly. Also, if those of you who are like, Steve Rifkin or some of you others on the call, if you have a transaction that you actually closed, or you have a new listing, go after these people as well. Invite them to a neighbor open house. Go door knocking with these people directly and say, hey, look, we're holding an open house on this Saturday between 2 to 5, but we're doing a neighbor's preview between 12 and 1. Would love to have you come by. These people are going to be curious to sell because first off, everyone wants to know what the Jones's house looks like inside. So they're going to come and check it out. They also want to compare their home to this neighbor's house. And they're thinking, geez, the Joneses are getting $1.5 million for their dump. My house is so much better. I could get 1.7 million for it. So these are things that happen, and people have these conversations in their minds. There's a saying in real estate that I heard years ago, and it seems to make a lot of sense if you think about it. Transactions or listings are like grapes. They come in bunches. So if you guys have noticed, whenever you see like one yard sign on the street, a couple weeks later, you'll start seeing 2 or 3 more in the neighborhood because people are thinking, wow, people are selling here. It's a good market. It just becomes contagious. So whenever you see like one sign, without a doubt, you start seeing a couple more signs. So you want to be the first one to get to these people to be able to find out if they're interested in selling. So I would go after these people first and foremost right away. Doesn't mean you don't mail to everyone, but maybe you mail a special piece to each of these people. For those of you who are on this call that don't have any listings, but you actually are probably sitting in an open house maybe for someone this weekend. And if you're a new agent that you aren't sitting open houses for people, you probably should do that. But let's say you're going to go sit, John Smith's open house this weekend. Go to our system, map this out, and find out who these likely to sell people are. I'm pretty sure that most agents aren't really doing the work to go door knocking on these things. So if you're a brand new agent and sitting in an open house, go door knock on these people and say, hey, look at, this is Brett Borkran. I'm going to be holding an open house down the street at 1234 Main Street. I'd love to have you guys come by. And have you thought about selling? Those are conversation pieces. So you could utilize that open house you're sitting to try to meet more additional sellers. So let's just go and we'll pick this one. So I picked this one. I have the top 50. I'm going to just name it. I'm going to subcategory this one, top 50. Now I'm saving this one as October top 50. I'm going to go create. Now I have my parent farm here, and I have my subcategory farm here. So I'm going to click on this subcategory farm. It's loading right now. Now, one of the things that I would do, and I think it's good practice, is I'm going to go export this file. Now I'm going to export it as a CSV file, which is Excel. The reason why I like CSV files is because you can manipulate it, you could scrub it, you could do a lot of those things. So I just want to show you what kind of data is in here. So I'm going to go export CSV file. And it's down here on the bottom. I'm going to open it. Now let me open this up more. Now within this file here, we have a lot of different information here. So right here, first thing we have lead status. We just put a sort of a placeholder there for you so you could put whatever you want in there. So we just put a spot for you. I'm going to delete this out just for this purpose. Lead score, same thing. I'm going to delete that out. But we have this. We have owner occupied. So we have yeses next to everyone. We have the address of the property. We have bedroom bath breakdown. And then we have years owned. So years owned is basically it's everyone on that list, 50 years or more. Remember we mentioned they're about 12 years before they start selling. So we go either side of that 12 years because these people are most likely to sell. Now, what's a good tool is, and we could do another class on this another time, is do a mail merge. Any of you guys do a mail merge before? And what a mail merge does is it will take all these fields. So you could write a Word document, and within the Word document, I could auto-populate any of these things. It could be like, you know, dear June Tillip, dear June Tillip, I noticed that you've owned your property at 11657 Amigo Avenue for 14 years. I've noticed in this area, people own their properties for 14 years before they think about selling. If you have thought about selling, please let me know. The market is great, you know, whatever your story is. So you could do 50 letters really fast. You just have to write the one letter, and you could actually merge all these things together. And what's nice about merging it is it looks custom. It becomes a custom letter. So it's just not dear owner, our dear current residents. Those things, you know, we throw them away. We get sick of seeing those things. But if it's a personal letter that has like my name and, you know, my address and how long I've been there for, it shows that, you know, there's effort put in by the agent, and it looks like it's specific to me. So I think it's a good idea to do a mail merge. And on my YouTube channel, I did do a class on mail merging, but we could do another one live at some point. I think this is, you know, a good practice. Also, for those of you who have buyers but can't seem to find a property for your clients, but you know a certain pocket they want, this is a great tool as well to use. So it could be like, you know, you can mail to all these people saying, you know, dear June Tillip, I currently have a client that's looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property in your area. I've noticed that you've been there for 14 years. Have you thought about selling? The property, you know, the group my buyers are perfect, they're qualified, et cetera, et cetera. So you can send these to people for looking for a buyer as well. So because these are likely to sell people, and it's pretty good, pretty easy access to do so. Anyone have any questions so far? Okay, cool. All right, so let's go back here. So I'm going to close this down, and I'm going to go back into my farms, and I want to go one more one. And I think this is a great tool as well. So once again, I find my Test October, which is my parent farm. I'm going to click on this. I want to go back to Farm Focus one more time. And I'm going to go to create a new Farm Focus. And I want to go to out-of-state owners. So it's just a pretty simple button right here, out-of-state owners. All right, so now we have from 512 addresses to 7 out-of-state owners. Now, Marcy, maybe you can mute. So out-of-state owners. What's nice about this is what's gone on in the last 2 years. Everyone's gained massive amount of equity, right? So they've gained equity. You know, we're talking 20% this last year alone. So I know a lot of people, I personally know people that when the recession hit, they decided they were going to move out of California, but they didn't want to, you know, lose all that equity in their house because their property values went down anyways. So they kept their property and they decided to move to Oregon or move to Texas. But now maybe they're sick of being a landlord, right? It hasn't been a great situation for landlords, especially with some of the COVID, assistance that the tenants have had. So now if I'm living up in Oregon and I've gained, you know, 30% in the last 2 years on my property, it might be time for me to sell my property. So this is another great group to target to. And it's pretty simple. So you only have 7 of them. So I'm going to show you this group. State, create, and we can see what they look like. So now I have my parent farm, and now I have 2 subcategory farms. So I'm going to go out of state. I'm going to export CSV file. And now here's my group right here. Okay, good. So now we have these properties, and they're out of state areas. So look at, we have Florida. Do I really want to be property managing a property in Porter Ranch when I live in Florida? No. How about Hawaii, Washington, Arizona, Washington again? So all these things, Zillow, so all these things, no one wants to really be a property manager doing that anymore. So I think this is a great way to get get listings around, is market these people as well. And you're going to have a couple different letters you might write. You might write one letter to the owner occupied likely to sells, and then you might want to write a separate letter to the out-of-state owners, just specifying the fact that, hey, I noticed that you're, you live in Florida. In the last year, we've seen a property value increase of, 27%, or whatever the number is. Now is a great time to sell. I've included in this letter a current market analysis for your review. If you would like it to have a further conversation, please give me a call. Bam, that's a conversation right there you can have with people. And you guys like this stuff so far? Or you guys think there's any suggestions, any questions? So we could also go back and manipulate
I
this.
think it's great.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Steve.
Good job, Brett.
Thanks. So we're still going. So I'm going to go back in this test October, and I want to show you a couple other things. I can go farm focus. Now I'm going to go create a new farm focus. And just show, I want to just show you all the different types of drop downs here we have. So once again, we have this parent here. I can go on filters, and I can go to property type. I know all this is single family, but I'm going to just show you property types. I could go all these different types of property types. So if you're looking for a commercial property in a certain area, you could go apartment houses. You could all these different types of ones. So you could scrub this down yourself into different categories for your farm. So you could find different type of properties. We could also go in, and I could search by price per square foot. I could search by likely to sell, I already said. I could go in and I could look only for owner occupied. There we go. I could look only for absentee. Remember, there was I think 12% of the people were absentee owners. So these are absentee owners, but they're not necessarily the out-of-state ones, because the out-of-state was only 7. We have something like 58 out of state. Absentee owners. So these are landlords, basically. So these are another good source to go after, especially if you have a listing right here. Maybe send them to all the absentee owners as well. You could also go in if you're looking for, like I said, a buyer, and you want a buyer that is, only looking for a 3-bedroom. So it narrows it down, right? So we could go in, oldest sold. Some people like to go after, oldest sold. So you could go and say, I want people that have been there since, let's go newest. Let's go. So these are people that have owned for 25 years. So newest. So 25 years. So you're thinking these people are empty nesters. It's not just that 12-person mark. It's an empty nester mark. So there's different ways to do all these things if you're only looking for pools. So there's a lot of neat functionality in this system. And if you start thinking it out of the box a little bit, I think this will help you get more business. Utilize your past transactions. Go back, and even if you sold something 6 months ago, go back to this area and find the likely to sell people and say, hey, I sold a property at 1234 Main Street 6 months ago. It's amazing to see how much the property values have increased since then. If you're thinking about listing, please let me know. I'd like to give you a current market analysis. Go back to your past business, right? Now let's go back to farms. Now, another neat tool we have is people always go, Brett, what am I going to mail? So we talked about likely to sell farms. We talk about, absentee owners. What am I going to mail to these people? So I could go in here, I could go to my test October, and I could go to a thing right here it's called Market Snapshot. So I'm going to click on Market Snapshot. And what this does is I could name this whatever I want right here. And I'm going to go create snapshot. And it's opening this report. Or building this report right now. And what this report does is here's that mapped area I created. So it's customized for this. It gives me an overview of this area for the year over year. So basically zip code is this, number of homes, 545, property type, single family, owner occupancy rate is 89%, years of ownership and median is 6, built 1977, turnover rate is saying it's 3.85%. Year over year sales. So we've seen an increase in sales in this pocket by 5%. So that means there was more transactions. And look at this though. We've seen in the last year over year, a 17, almost 18% increase in transfer value. So that means these 5 properties or 5% of properties are selling for 17% more than they did previous. So this is a good number to go to the neighbors and to go to those out-of-state owners and to go to the likely sell and say, hey guys, here's a report I made for you. Just want to let you know what's going on in our pocket here. We've seen a 17% increase in value. Maybe you make your mail merge letter around this piece and go to them. And it's just it's a great piece right here. If you don't want my information there, there's a little button here. I can just X that out. And we go right in here. And so all this detail is right here. We can give more information. We give the zip code. For the zip code turnover rate is 4.58. We give average highs, lows. This is all sort of hot live stuff. So I think this is a great piece, like I said, to utilize for your likely to sell, mailings. I would also, if I'm a new agent, I would sit in an open house, or even an experienced agent with an open house. I would print some of these out, make maybe 25 copies, sit at your open house and print these and pass them out to buyers and say, hey, here's what's going on in this market. Now's a great time to buy because we are seeing an increase in value right now. Who knows what next year's going to be? You could be another 17%, and then you could be priced out of this area. If you'd like to write an offer right now, let me know. So this is a great, just a little summary that gives you guys everything you're going to need to know. And what's great about our system is, I don't know if you guys know this, but we're a little different than, let's say, the MLS and the MLS sales data, because the MLS sales data only is stuff that is basically processed through the MLS. Our system pulls from basically the county tax assessor or the county recorder's office. So we're getting for sale by owners. We're getting any transaction that goes on in this pocket, we're going to know about because it didn't have to go through the MLS. Some people do off-market sales, and we're going to find out about those. So those are there. So in this system, you could go PDF, I could print it, and I could also create a share link. So on this share link, you could go in and you could put this on your social media. It's already copied. You could put it on a landing page on your website. And what's nice about this, it's not static. So what I mean by that is this link will always be updating. So next month, the numbers will change. So this is always going to be updating. So if you put something on the website or a landing page, it's going to be refreshed all the time. So I think that's a great tool for you guys to have. So within these 2 tools, you have a couple of different things. You're going to be able to find out who's likely to sell, and you have a piece to actually mail to them and getting you more business. Can you guys, anyone else think of anything useful for this market snapshot of how you guys could utilize it? No. Okay.
I think
So,
we
yeah.
can also, put it in our farm, like on the, let me see, the market snapshot. When we send out our postcards.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. What you could do, Gina, that's a good idea. You can even cut and paste some of the stuff. Do you guys know how to cut and paste? I'll just give you a quick little tutorial. This is a great little tool I use all the time. There's a thing called snipping tool. So I can go snipping tool. And if I want to make a piece, let's say I want to not have all the stuff on it, I can go snipping tool, I go new, and I can just take this and just take this one little section. And there we go. I could use this in another marketing piece. I could save it as a picture. So I'm able to, manipulate this however I want, right? So I could take this, save it, I could give it to, my marketing department, and they can make it into a postcard for me. You could use these things however you want. It's not, I'm giving you authorization to take our pieces and do what you want to do with them. It's not copyrighted information. So use these things. I think one of the issues with a lot of what's going on with a lot of us is there's so many tools out there for you guys all, and it's like, where do I start? Where do I jump into? And the best tools you have are the ones you use. And I mean, you guys, where your heads will spin with how many tools Berkshire Hathaway offers and we offer, and other companies offer. I would just pick one or two good tools that you're going to actually use. And I think if it was me, I would jump in with Likely to Sell and out-of-state owners right now. And I would jump in with the Market Snapshot. These are great tools. We're hearing success up and down Southern California from our other clients that are utilizing these things, and they're getting listings. They're especially getting listings from the out-of-state owners. We've had numerous success stories already. I just heard last week on a Zoom call that I have with my company, a couple of people down in Orange County have gotten a couple listings out of it just from doing the out-of-state owners and marketing to them. So we're always growing tools and we're always trying to add to them. But you just have to sort of use tools. And I always come to this with a point of view of, I want to help you guys save money. So when we first looked at this farm of 582 people, that's a lot of money, right? So if you guys could start only doing 50 people, it's going to make a lot of sense. Let's see here. So if I did like 582 addresses at 80 cents per postcard, which the marketing department offers, that's $409. But if you do 50 people in a handwritten letter or a mail merge letter at 55 cents, you're talking, $25, $23. So you're able to market yourself a little better, a little faster, and a little cheaper. So our time actually, unfortunately, is running out because I only have a certain time on this Zoom class. So any quick questions before we end this thing? No. I hope you guys have liked it so far, and I hope you were able to get some tips on this thing and ways to utilize it and move forward. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Great job,
Brett.
Brett.
Well, thank you guys all for coming. And then I have recorded this, so I'll put it back online. And if you guys have personal questions, just call me directly, and we could go over this individually for each of you on your farms, and we'll help you try and get more business utilizing these great tools.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank
All right.
you,
Thanks,
Brett.
Brett.
Very
Thank you,
good.
Brett.
Brett,
you.
where can we find some of your past classes?
On my, let's see if I have time to share it. On my Zoom, on my YouTube channel, go to, let me get out of this. So go to California Title Training,
Right.
California Title Training, and then I have classes on here.
All right, that's awesome.
All right,
That's
guys. All right, thank you all for coming.